speech entitled Motorways and Swimming Pools. With a speech called Motorways and Swimming Pools, let's hear it for Jenny Cutler!
Mr. Contest Chair, fellow tasters and guests, hands up anyone who's braved it into a public swimming pool. So, it's terrifying, isn't it? It's so complicated, all those lanes, not knowing where you're going to be allowed. Well, you know, I feel that about motorways, not knowing how to get into the lane I want to go in. And then I suddenly thought, motorways and swimming pools, they're the same thing. And I worked it all out, so I'm going to explain to you how it works. Now, I'm going to do swimming pools first, because they're so much simpler. Now, the first thing is that people swim in both directions, in the same lane, at the same time. They don't usually do that on motorways, because most people know that the slip road is not the escape route for going up and turning around and changing your mind. Thank goodness for that. So, apart from the direction, you can see the lanes are all completely different. The slow lane is for the women who actually can't swim. But they can reach the bottom, but they still think they're going to drown, so they tie themselves up in those things called noodles. And of course, they've just washed their hair and don't want to get it wet. The fast lane is for people who set their minds on the Olympic Games. And they've got their head under the water and they're not looking where they're going. You wouldn't want to play with them either. So, all you've got is the middle lane. So you think, I better go in the middle lane. So get ready to go in the middle lane with all those people, you know, burning off their sweat and burning off their stress. And then suddenly you notice this notice, and it says, if you can't do the middle lane in 28 seconds, don't go in there. So I can't do the middle lane in 28 seconds. So what do? Well, you know what you can do. You can go into Google Earth, and you can suss out all of the people who've got posh private pools near you. And then you get your best swimming pool Saturday outfit on, lost my towel, and take a bottle of champagne, and knock at their door on a Saturday night, and they're a bit surprised to see you, and you say, oh, my Tom made me come here. It's like, you've arrived. I'm so taken aback they invite you in. You can swim anywhere you want. That's the swimming pool bit, that's the easy bit. Now I'm going to do the motorway bit, which is much harder. Now, we have this direction problem too with motorways, because first of all you have to decide, find the motorway you need to go on, and then you have to decide which way to go. Now, you might think that's easy. I think I need to go to London, and maybe later on at night I need to go home, which is Marlow, which is fine. But when you get there, at that last roundabout, that really big scary roundabout, they take all the place names away. And all it says is to the east or the west. And if you haven't been paying attention to all those other little notices on the way there, it's a very hard decision to make. And you know what's even worse is if you've got the M25, because suddenly east turns into north and west turns into south. And if, like me, there's one thing you know for certain, you live in the west. It's very hard to find your way home. Now, the other thing about the lanes is that most motorways, like swimming pools, have 3 lanes, but some have spare lanes. I don't know why, so I'm not going to explain that. But worse than all these 6, 7, 8 lanes, some of them, after a Toastmasters meeting, getting into the night, start disappearing. You know, they were there when you came up to London, when you're going home, the fast lane's gone, the middle lane's gone, and sometimes the slow lane's gone. And all you get is a horrible sign, a diversion to Bracknell. I don't want to go to Bracknell. I don't live anywhere near Bracknell, and I know there are no signs to Marlow. If I get to Bracknell, I'll never find my way home. The other thing about the lanes things is that men and women call them all different things. Now, women are very straightforward. They say slow, middle, and fast. But oh no, that's too girly for the men. The men have to think up these blokey names. So they call the slow lane the outside lane because it's on the outside of the motorway, and it's also near the trees. So they also call it the near side lane. And they call the fast lane the inside lane because it's inside the motorway. And they also call that the offside lane because if you're not looking where you're going, your car goes up, over, off, onto the offside. So the secret is don't talk to men about the names of the lanes or use women's names, even though they're all exactly the same thing. The last thing you need to understand is who's allowed in which lane. Well, the slow lane is for the foreigners because they're looking at the scenery, that's why they come here. It's also for people who don't know where they're going, and it's for people in very cheap cars. Listen to the radio, because it's a service, especially for the radio. Now, over on the fast lane, you've got all the rich men in their posh German cars, you've got the boy racers, you've got pregnant women whose husbands think they can go as fast as they can go because they're all about to have the baby right now. And you've also got one last tiny, very select group of people who some totally mean English person has said, get on this particular motorway and there'll be a right turning to whatever they want to do. So you're left with the middle lane. Everybody in the middle lane. Now, there's only one rule in the middle lane. You have to go as fast as you can possibly go without getting caught and going over the limit. So you're in the middle lane, it's taken half an hour to get in there, and you're doing really well going as fast as it's possible to go. And somebody comes up your backside, flashes you. That means I'm too scared to go in the outside lane. You have to go into the slow lane, so I can just stay in the middle lane all the way to London. So you think, right, and you do that. And then you think, oh God, it's like musical chairs, and my chair's been taken away. You can't get back in. And it takes you half an hour to get back into the motorway. So you're back in the middle lane, you're going very, very fast. Same thing happens again. It comes up your backside, and you think, no, fell for that trick last time. I'm not going over there again. You go into the fast lane, don't care how scary it is, and get past me. And then you think, oh, you're not really supposed to do that. It's so stressful. So you get over and let him in, and you can't get back, and you think, I don't want to do motorways. I really don't. And you know what? You don't have to. Take this road, the A272. It goes anywhere you'd want to go. It's the prettiest road in England, and it'll never make you go to Bradford.